WNDS Sports and Tri-State Megabucks present Candlepin Skins. It's bowling with a whole new twist as New England's best bowlers battle for cash prizes in every box. Candlepin Skins is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome once again here to Londonderry Bowling Center in Londonderry, New Hampshire. Doug Brown, along with Dan Murphy. Glad you could join us for Candlepin Skins. We've got quite a story developing here. The first 2 weeks that Jason Leach was here, well, he made his first appearance with us just 3 weeks ago, Dan, from Nashua, New Hampshire. The youngster exploding on the scene with a couple of big wins. Then last week, he kind of hung around. Nobody was able to put him away. He came up with some late marks and grabbed second place to continue his streak.
It was funny watching him because he kept looking at the scoreboard. It's hard for him to figure because he had to pass two people, but it goes to show you just keep fighting and you never know what's going to happen, and he was able to catch him right at the end.
So from last week, Rich Lotti, who was our overall winner, comes back, and Jason Leach is back for his fourth week in a row, and they will be joined by Rico Baldinelli from Amesbury, Massachusetts, and Dave Richards from Plastow, New Hampshire. And we'll be back to get our match started right after these messages. Don't go away. Dave Richards and Rico Baldinelli, left and right, ready to start game one here on Candlepin Skins. Dave with a possible spare here. Let's see. No, gets robbed on the 7-pin. Rico after the light first ball nearly worked it out. 10 for Dave. Likewise for Rico. Well, here's Rich Lotti. Third straight week for Rich. And Jason Leach making his fourth straight appearance. Tens are good right now for the skin. Let's see what happens. Spare for Rich Lotti. Great shot. And that will win the first skin for Rich. Worth $10. Jason Leach will take an 8. That spare.
Just splits the 1 and the 2, the head pin goes down and clears out the 6-10.
Fine shot. Rico Baldinelli back on the head pin and has a spare leave. Dave Richards has one more pin up there, and that makes all the difference. Spare for Rico. Dave has the exact same shot, except the 5-pin is also there. Let's see. Well, needed to catch that wood to snap it over. $10 for Dave, his second. Rich Lotti now. Or rather, Jason Leach first. Now Rich Lotti on his spare. $6. Jason off target. And that will be a $10 skin for Rico Baldinelli in the second. $8 for Rich, $9 for Jason. And there's the situation after 2. Dave Richards looking for his first mark. And he'll have a shot at it on the triangle. Rico on a spare. Half Worcester. Spare it up for Dave. And an $8 for Rico Baldinelli. $10 skin here in the third. Rich may have a shot at this. Let's see. Oof. Jason misfires, so the spare for Dave Richards will give him a skin, his first. And 10s for Rich and Jason. Not much to choose score-wise so far between the four bowlers. Rico back on the headpin, big 9 drop.
Just the 4-pin left for Rico.
And Dave Richards splits it up. He'll have a tough shot. Rico with a spare. And Dave Richards with a spare. Fine effort. Threw a good first ball. He probably deserved a better lead than he got.
But that wood helps the 3-pin to stay in play right there. Now he goes over and gets the 7-pin.
Well, we're going to have a re-rack here on lane 29 for Rich Lotti before we continue. And we might even have to take a break to get that situation straightened out. We'll see. In the meantime, we'll let you know that tomorrow at 12 noon here on the Winds of New England, we will have week 2 of our annual mixed doubles competition from Park Place Lanes in Windham, New Hampshire. Again, that will be tomorrow at noon here on the Winds. We will take a timeout and come back to Game 1 here on Candlepin Skins in a minute. We are back, having straightened out our mechanical problem here at the lanes, and Jason Leach will have a spare lead. 2 spares up already here in the 4th. And so we will have a carryover, our first of the day. $10 for Jason Leach. 9 for Rich Lotti. The carryover makes the 5th box worth $30. With Dave and Rico, as you see there, working on spares. Dave will go first. Big 8 fill. Now Rico. Slipping to the left, just 3. Another spare for Dave, that's 3 in a row. And Rico almost converts it. $10. So the early advantage to Dave Richards here for the skin. And he has also established a lead in the match. Well, we'll see how these two guys manage here. First, Rich Lotti on the triangle. Rather, the diamond, I should say. And now Jason Leach with an even tougher lead. Oh, he flew it around almost. Great effort. So the spare of Dave Richards will win him the $30 skin. And we are halfway through game one. You see Dave Richards in the lead, and he will extend that lead with his next ball. But first, Rico Baldinelli. Rico's been open 3 times here on lane 30. Oh, an inverted triangle for Dave Richards. That will not be an easy shot.
Good thing about it is does have a piece of wood in between those pins.
Dave looking for his 4th mark in a row. No.
Bowling on 29. He almost ended up on lane 23 with that body English.
8 for Rico Baldinelli. And a 10 for Dave Richards. Jason Leach, as he did last week, off to a slow start. Still looking for his first mark. Last week, Jason didn't get his first mark until the first box of the second game, and he wound up finishing second. And that close to a strike. No marks on the board yet here in box number 6. For the skin, and $15. There it is for Rich Lotti. And a 6 box for Jason. Dave Richards with the strike. First strike of the day for any of the bowlers. And a 10 for Rico. Dave Richards with the strike. Very tight pocket hit.
Yeah, just tripping that 4-pin. Rich Lotti working on a spare now in the 7th.
Oh, and he matches the strike of Dave Richards. Taking that $25 away, and there's another strike. Jason Leach on the board with his first mark. 3 strikes across in that 7th box. Here's the strike of Rich Lotti.
Somebody just yelled, so does Rico get the money? He's the only one without the strike.
Box number 8 worth $50 now. $8 for Dave Richards. On the strike. And a 9 in the box for Dave. Rico has to settle for a 7. Now Jason Leach and Rich Lotti each working on strikes. Oh, watch out for the mix here. Six fill for Jason on his strike, and a piece of wood needs to be checked on Rich Lotti's leave. As he, well, not really a spare lead, but perhaps he can get this wood moving and give it a chance.
Yeah, we only have a 9 up there, so for the skin.
Well, there's a 7 box for Jason. It'll all come down to this ball. For the skin, And Rich wins it with that very gentle 10 bucks. A $50 10 bucks for Rich Lotti. Dave Richards still in the overall lead, and he fires another strike. Wow. Rico really hasn't found the range yet.
No, he hasn't.
Has a couple of marks already, but he had very low fills on both, and he is at just 84 through 9. Here is Dave Richards with the home run. $25 ninth box. Rich Lotti. And Jason Leach off target. Rich gets the spare. But Dave Richards gets the skin. And a 9 box for Jason Leach. Dave and Rich starting to separate themselves away a little bit from Rico and Jason, but still lots of time to go. And Rico has a spare leave in the 10th. And Dave Richards punches through. He's working on a strike, remember. Oh, works it out nicely for an 8 fill. Rico with a 9 and a 93. Dave Richards will take 8 and a 135.
That pesky 9 leads for the skin.
Something tells me it will not stand up.
I don't think so.
Oh, there it goes. Jason Leach with a spare in the 10th, or rather a strike in the 10th. And look out! Almost on top of it. So Jason takes the $50 skin, his first. A spare for Rich Lotti, and he has a chance to take the lead in the match. After a slow start, Rich Lotti has caught fire, and Jason Leach getting the tap on the 7-pin for the strike. So now they each have marks to fill here in the 10th. It'll be Jason first. Oh, look out. Almost strike on spare for Rich. Spare on strike in the 10th for Jason. So he winds up with a 105, but Rich Lotti takes the lead in the match at 139 with Dave Richards just 4 pins behind. We're back for game 2 at Londonderry Bowling Center right after these words. All 4 bowlers on the board with Rich Lotti leading the way. $75 in skins prize money so far. Rich Lotti also leading in total pinfall at 139. And Dave Richards starts game 2 here in Londonderry. Glad you're with us here on Candlepin Skins. No.
I thought, he thought, the crowd thought. We all thought he had it, but somehow the 7-pin didn't go down.
It's a 10 instead.
Well, this may be a good lead for Rico to start with here in game 2. Struggled to a 93 in the opener. Got it. Spare in the first. Oh, yes, Rich Lotti, fine shot. The diamond up top and then the 10 in the corner. Wow. Tough enough to get the diamond and then throw it all the way into the corner like that.
Looking for the strike for the skin, so we'll have a carryover. But Jason's got a lot of ground to make up too, so he's 105 after 1.
And he puts a spare up. Well, Jason had to make up ground last week, but he was aided by the fact that 2 of the guys he was chasing really didn't do anything to put him away. And watch out if it comes this way. Nope.
Dave did everything in his power to make it come this way.
He's trying to pull it. It just wouldn't come back.
What a little whoa, because he thought he was going to miss it to the right. It's 8 fill on Rico's spare. Leaves himself the 4 and 8 for another spare.
Rico happy to get a big fill up there. He had only 2 and 3 on his mark fills in the first game, and now he starts this one with 2 marks in a row. Rich Lotti on a spare. Just 4. And a 9. We appear destined for another carryover unless Jason Leach can throw a strike.
Which would help his cause in the total pinfall department as well as win the skin. Looks pretty good going in. Needs some help on a 5.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Strike on spare, $20 skin for Jason Leach. The wood comes around perfectly. Just 4 on the spare for Dave Richards. Nine. Now Rico on his spare. Just missing the head pin by a little. 7 fill.
1, 3, and 10 pins left. No wood to help him. Oh, just badly to the left.
And 9.
Pair of 9s up there for the skin.
Rich Lotti with a chance to retake the overall lead. Well, let's see. Things could get interesting here for this skin.
Scenario seems to be following the same path as last week. All of a sudden, the first 3 boxes, anyways. 2 leaders get marks, don't fill them very good, and the 2 low men in the totem pole put double marks up, including this man, Jason Leach, who's working on a strike.
And 3 9s up there for this skin. And look out.
Wow, that was a good-looking ball in the 1-3 pocket until you saw what it did. But if he's on the 2-pin, he's got a shot at making this. This is not that bad.
Oh, yeah. Great shot. 20 more for Jason Leach as he tries for another comeback this week. 3 marks in a row. He takes the skin for $10.
Crawls back within 16 pins of the leader, and he has a mark up.
Oh, my. And Dave works it out for an 8. That will bring up Rico Baldinelli again. Rico works at Baldinelli's Bowl Away, lives in Amesbury, Massachusetts. Probably deserved better than the 6-7.
Certainly looked better going in, but probably try to play the wood, and no, he's going to try to cut the 6-pin over.
And it's a 10. Rico running in 4th place right now, but just 24 pins out of 2nd. This is a $15 skin here in the 4th. And Rich Lotti gets a great mix, almost the strike. But he'll settle for the 9-pin drop and a shot at the 2-pin for the spare.
He doesn't want to fool around with this wood. He wants to shoot right at the 2-pin.
He does, for the spare. Now Jason Leach, who all of a sudden has caught fire. He went strike spare to end the first game, and now he's gone strike spare strike to open the second. Need to work on this one though. 4 fill on the spare.
Needs just to create the carryover.
Nope. Rich Lotti takes the $15 skin. And Jason settles for a $9. Everybody checking the scoreboard. You have to keep a close eye on it in this format. Things can change very quickly. Triangle for Dave Richards. No, right around it. $10. $15 skin here in the 5th. Boy, Rico threw that ball almost dead on the head pin, it appeared. And what do you know? He carries for a strike, his first of the day. Almost dead full on the head pin, just a little bit to the Brooklyn side.
And even then, it looked like the 3-7 were going to be left up. And finally, those two go down for the strike.
Rich Lotti with another 4 fill on a spare. Second time he's done that this game. Oh, but he converts this one. 2 marks in a row for Rich. Kept everything over in the right corner. Strike wins the skin for Rico Baldinelli. And a spare for Jason Leach as he continues his comeback. Doing it a little earlier this week than he did last week. Spare in the 5th. We take a break. Back for the final 5 boxes on Candlepin Skins after these words. Don't go away. Five boxes to go, and this is just wide open here on Candlepin Skins. Rich Lotti in the overall lead, but not by a lot over Dave Richards. And Jason Leach is coming up fast.
Dave right in between, too full in the head pin. A little more right or left. The head pin or the ball would have taken the 10 pin. But he'll be open again in the 6th.
And that brings up a couple of very important balls here for Rico Baldinelli because he is far from out of it also, and he's working on a strike.
If he were to throw another strike, he's right back in it.
Pulled it just a touch. And the important thing is to get as much as he can on this fill. He will take 7. And an 8 box. As you see, Rich Lotti and Jason Leach still have spares to fill here. The 6th box worth $15. 6 fill for Rich.
1, 2, 7, 10. Trying to make it 3 marks in a row.
No. Oh, Rico trying to jump that over, and he didn't even get the 7 pin. Or rather, Rich, I should say. So he'll take an 8. Well, let's see now here. If Jason Leach throws a 9 or better on this spare, he'll move into 2nd place, but he pulls it to the left.
All bowlers having trouble with the fills.
Not quite. 10 is alive for the skin right now for Dave Richards. Unless Jason can convert this. He does not. It's a $15 10 box for Dave Richards in the 6th. All 4 bowlers open. As things get closer still.
27 pins, I believe, from top to bottom.
Dave Richards from Plastow, New Hampshire. And the spare for Dave.
Much needed mark for Dave. He's only had 1 this game back in the 2nd box with only a 4 fill.
Rico for a spare, yes! Fine shot.
Keeps his hope alive.
Now Rich Lotti. Rich held on to that one a little extra time.
Everybody's kind of squeezing a little harder right now. Going down the final 4 frames. It's anybody's ball game.
Uh-oh.
You heard the moan. He knew that. All of a sudden, Dave Richards got a shot at him. Jason's not out of it, and neither is Rico. Rico's got a mark.
And just an $8 for our leader, Rich Lotti. That'll allow everybody to make up ground. 2 of them already have with marks up, and now Jason Leach takes his turn. With a strike to win the skin. Oh my. Big strike in total pinfall, but also a $25 skin for Jason Leach. Puts him up to $105. He has just been cleaning up the last several weeks here.
Dave missing the head pin, just 5 on that spare.
Not quite. And 9.
Rico definitely needs a big fill and another mark. He'd love a strike, but definitely has to keep marking. Well,
Rico off target again to the left.
he gets just 5.
Takes a $9.
Pair of 9s up there for the skin in the 8th.
It's worth $25.
It might be worth the match if somebody could put a mark up. Last couple of weeks, boy, it's been going right down to the wire. 2, 4, and 6. Piece of wood behind the 6, so I'm wondering if you could undercut it and clip the wood for the 6 pin. I don't know if it's frozen or not. Ooh, we'll never know. At least not for a spare. So he'll be open. Advantage, Jason Leach.
Yes, working on a strike now.
Again.
Things are going to be interesting either way, but if Jason were to put another strike up,
Or at least a mark.
3 9s up there for this skin. It's a $25 skin. It's going to be a tough shot for the spare. Without wood, the 1, 3, 7, and 8. Oh, he made it! Not tough at all, I guess. Takes the skin and puts that all-important mark up there.
He now
Been getting it done, hasn't he?
And pulls in a tie with Dave Richards, but he has the mark working. Only 6 behind. Only 6 behind Rich Lotti, but he also has that mark.
Oh, that's a strike! Dave Richards comes right back. He's been struggling this game, but he gets the carry here. 4-pin did go for the strike. Rico Baldinelli needs a mark here.
Yeah, just keep that glimmer of hope alive. So unfortunately, all 3 of them aren't going to fall down. He has to pass 2 out of those 3.
But he'll be open in 8-box, 111 through 9. Lotti. Rich appeared to be in pretty good shape 3 or 4 boxes ago, but now
he's struggling. His second ball has been saving him, though. That first ball's been off the head pin, but this second ball is usually on his target. There it is.
Like that. Big shot right there.
Certainly was.
I think he needed at least one more mark.
Big shot.
He may need another one, depending on what everybody else does. Big ball here for Jason Leach.
Off target, but he gets 7. 1, 3, and 9 pins left. Needs us to keep pace with Dave and Rich.
Oh, yeah. 3 in a row for Jason Leach. The skin in the 9th goes to Dave Richards with the strike.
jumps ahead of Dave Richards by 7. Dave's got the strike working. Jason's got the spare. He also 1 pin ahead of Rich Lotti, who also has a spare.
Now Dave working on this strike, and big second ball here. Oh my. 5 on the fill.
I would say that just cost Dave a chance to come back next week.
I think you're right. He needed at least a good fill on that, if not another mark. 107, 242 for Dave Richards. And of course, in the 10th, Rico gets the strike. Isn't that always the way? Well, of course, that could win him $50 on the way out the door.
Got the skin come here in the 10th.
So Rico bounces back from his 93 with a 130. But 227 total will not, or rather 223 total will not be enough.
Well, the story's been Jason Leach, and it's again this week, although Rich Lotti, he's done this before. Just keeps coming back.
8 fill, not exactly what you call a spare leave here. Rich Lotti, the 8 and the 10 with no wood. But he's safely home.
Just a matter of that final skin now. If Jason just keeps the ball in the lane, he should pass Dave Richards.
113 for Rich and a 252. He'll be back next week for his 4th week in a row.
Well, what else has Jason got to do? He's probably going to throw a strike here to take it away from Rico temporarily. No?
No, he doesn't. So give the last skin to Rico Baldinelli.
But that assures him coming back.
And Jason's going to have himself yet another game in the 140s. He's had a lot of those over the last several weeks. 148, a 2-game total of 253. He beats Rich Lotti by 1. They're both coming back next week, and we will be right back on Candlepin Skins after these words. Welcome back to the Londonderry Bowling Center and Candlepin Skins. Doug Brown with Dan Murphy, and well, I guess we knew it was going to be the Jason Leach show. He certainly proved it the first couple of weeks, and using the front runner status the first 2 shows, but the last 2 shows he's been coming from behind, and he finishes first 3 of the 4 weeks.
That's right, Doug Brown, Dan Murphy, and Jason Leach. And probably should put Jason first because he did all the work. He just wouldn't be denied. He just he kept hanging around, and when he had to, he came up with that mark.
Well, every once in a while, we do have a couple of extra minutes here at the end of the show on Candlepin Skins, so a chance for us to bring up our hero of the hour here, Jason Leach. Come on up, Jason. Jason with $725 over the 4 weeks. Not a bad take. So much for being nervous or a little ill at ease. First time on TV, you jumped right in. You did a terrific job. Congratulations.
Yeah, I did excellent. I don't know what to say.
Apparently, we talked about the little notes to yourself to try and keep reminding yourself to slow down and stay patient. Does that help while you're up there?
Yeah, I wrote them on my shoes. So
and it does help, I guess, huh?
Every time I look down, they're there.
Well, you know already that you're going to be back with us next week. We don't know who the other 2 bowlers will be, but you and Rich Lotti will be coming back, and for you it'll be week number 5 in a row. So enjoy it this week, and we'll see you next time.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. Congratulations, Jason. Thanks very much. Jason Leach, the big winner this week here on Candlepin Skins. Let's look at the scores and check out the money situation as well. Here's the pinfall first. Jason Leach by 1 pin over Rich Lotti. Dave Richards and Rico Baldinelli 3rd and 4th, respectively. Jason Leach, the big money winner again today, $130, and as we mentioned, $725 for his 4 weeks so far here on Candlepin Skins. Rich Lotti will be back for his 4th week in a row next week.
And he also got on the board with $90. Dave Richards, $105. Rico Baldinelli, $75. So it's interesting. Rich Lotti, the guy who had the long streak last season, is working on another one, and now he's got kind of this year's long streak paired right with him, Jason Leach.
If I remember correctly, he was usually coming in second each time, too. So it's just a matter of who coattails he climbs onto. But between the two of them, they just bowled great.
Well, it'll be the two of them, Rich Lotti, Jason Leach, and two other bowlers, the first two finishers in our next roll-off. As of right now, we don't know who that will be, but we'll be here next Saturday here on Candlepin Skins. We hope you will be, too. Don't forget, tomorrow at 12 noon from Park Place Lanes in Wyndham, it'll be week 2 of our annual mixed doubles tournament, and we hope you'll join us for that. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew, I'm Doug Brown. Have a great weekend, everybody.